Look, it was an interesting time for the club.
I didn't see this 10 years ago. I thought, we're not going to get there. There's no chance.
To get to these milestones, completely unbelievable.
He just brought a different dimension, a different level of professionalism. And at the time, I mean, we didn't just appoint a senior men's coach. He was a marketing machine, the ultimate ambassador for the club.
Been here 45 years. For me, he is the best I've seen. To get our mighty club, Preston back to the promised land.
I remember playing it like Banyule with the swings and the sets, and Clifton Hill, where it used to go downhill the ground. So the club wasn't in the greatest space. But just as soon as he came, the professionalism went up. Every player had to shake your hand. Every player had to speak to the supporters. I don't think I've ever seen that at Preston, even 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, I'd actually just come out of a shoulder surgery, so I went in and I could barely shake Louie's hand at the time, so it wasn't off to the greatest start, but I walked out of that meeting after talking to him, not really having an idea what Preston was at the time, and I walked out of there saying I'm going to play for Preston Lions.
A bit hesitant when I first came on, because he didn't know me that well, but mate, after day 1, 2, it just took off like fire.
The success of the club is built on incredible people, and Louie Acevski's contribution to our club is, there's no words to describe the sacrifices that he's made, the passion and the love that he's put into our place. And not only Lou, we've also got to just stop and acknowledge the sacrifice probably the whole family and his daughters and wife have made for him to be able to do what he does week in, week out.
We thought, hey, Dad's going to take time off from coaching, you know, indefinitely. About 9 months later, Louie Acevski gave him a call, came over to our house, and I remember thinking, oh, who's this strange man? You know, over at our house, I was only about 12 years old. But then eventually, as I got older, I realised, oh, okay, you know, Preston's a big club. Preston does really well, and Dad enjoys what he does. So, hey, let me start taking you along. You know, I hear about 16, 17, Mum was like, okay, you can start going. And I come and watch him every week. I took up coaching because of him. In a way, it's actually made us closer.
He lives and bleeds the club, and that comes across with the teams he puts out on the park. We're kind of an embodiment of how he is as a character, and yeah, he's Preston through and through, and I saw that as soon as I arrived.
I've known Louie for 40 plus years. We were neighbours down in St Albans, down in Ackfold Street, where it all began for Louie. Back in the day, we used to come out in the court and kick the ball, a few boys, as you did back in the day, and he had the natural physique of a goalkeeper, we'd say back then. So when he'd come out with his ice cream, we'd ask him to be keeper, and long story short, he had a brick fence, there was no grass, and he kept every day, 7 days a week for us, on the concrete, left and right, back and forward, diving, as he did for years. And that's where his career kicked off, I believe.
Louie's been balding for a few years now. I reckon I've contributed to half of the hair that he's lost on his head. So it's not that we didn't see eye to eye, we just expected the best out of each other all the time. And it obviously doesn't take much to G me up, but when he says something to me or he's having that sort of pre-match speech and stuff, I'm ready to run through a brick wall for him.
We played down at Bentley Greens, and we conceded a last-minute goal after a free kick we gave away on the halfway line. We lost 3-2. I wasn't happy that the boys didn't man up in the moment and, you know, take someone by the collar and really do something about it. And I just happened to be the nearest person to him, and somehow he managed to pick me up from me collar, and my legs were dangling.
He was constantly worrying about if I looked fit enough to play. I remember wearing a big coat and it was hot, and he kept waiting for me to take the coat off, and I wouldn't because I knew I was a few pounds overweight.
The biggest spray that I can remember from Louie was against Melbourne City, and they had some young kid that was just like ripping me. He was like 17 years old, and I was like, who the hell is this kid? And I came in at half time, and the second half was much better for me, let me tell you that. But yeah, that was the biggest spray I've ever caught from a coach, and I remember it very fondly.
So that kid plays for Coventry City now.
Yeah, it makes me feel better that he's a superstar, to be honest. So.
There's just a picture that stands out in my memory where I think there's me, Benji, Roxy, Dave and Louie, and we've got the 3 fingers up for 3 promotions, and that'll be something I cherish for the rest of my life, and to do it with Louie and the rest of them was a dream come true.
Just his connection to this football club and the absolute desire to see this club playing at the highest level.
And he's been at the helm the whole time, you know, to direct the club, you know, through the ups and downs, and be there through all that, and the pressure, no doubt, of trying to take this club back to the heights of where it was before is a big responsibility, and he's got big shoulders.
Not a lot of you see it. He's taken soccer calls all day, you know, therapists, what are we going to do, coaching staff, what's happening, this, that. It doesn't stop, and he puts a lot of effort into it, and look, I'm really proud of what he does. You know, it's really not easy.
What can I say about the great man Louie? I've known him for over 30 years, played together, and it's been an honour and a privilege to stand alongside him.
Happy 300 games, mate. You welcomed me in early on, mate, not just as an employee next to you, but you welcomed me into your family. And you've done more for me off the park than you have on the park.
Got a bleed on my kidney with 2 games to go in the season when we got promoted 2 or 3 years ago now. Didn't have Medicare or something. There was like a complication with me not being Australian, and 3, 4, 5 a.m. whatever night I rang him. He was in the hospital within 30, 45 minutes, and that's a man that has work the next day. I think he brought me chapapi one day. So yeah, it just speaks volumes of the man that, yeah, he didn't even think twice about coming to see me and looking after me. So
just want to say a massive congratulations to Louie Acevski on his 300th game coming up this weekend. Your endeavour, your work ethic, your drive at the Preston Lions Football Club has been enormous.
He's brought us back to the big stage, and mate, I love the bloke. We're so fortunate to have him as our head coach, and no words can describe the way I feel about him, mate. He's a legend of the club, the legend of our community as well.
Mate, like a brother to me. So, yeah, well, there's a special place for him in my heart, that man, and he knows why.
To all the supporters, take a moment just to absorb his achievements.
We're not here without Louie. There is zero chance we are where we are without Louie Acevski. It's beyond words what he's done. Doesn't ask for anything, doesn't want praises, doesn't take a cent from the club. He's just, yeah. If you're ever going to build a statue about someone, it's going to be Louie Acevski, put it that way.
Lupce, congratulations. It's an astonishing achievement. You've done more for me than anybody realises, and yeah, I thank you for what you've taught me in football, but what you've taught me about becoming a man. Awesome. Got me that.
Perfect.
Got me there.